Welcome. This is the story of a man called Carl Sapp. He is an unusual looking man, 5'5" in stature, a plain looking face, an average looking body. But what lies in him is a secret. He is not of this planet, as he walks among the humans of this world. He despises humankind. He really wants to be home on his home planet in his home galaxy. But he is stranded here because of a mishap with his spaceship. It was destroyed, and he barely got out alive. But he observed humans for a brief period of moments and decided he's going to have to live amongst them and adapt to their way of living. He's very intelligent, so he got a job he didn't like, and he tried to make do of the worst scenario possible. As I said before, he hates humankind. He despises working amongst humans, thinking of them as inferior. So it somewhat gave him a bit of an attitude. And that attitude is what got him in trouble. Dealing with ignorant humans, as he called them, customers that are very rude and very entitled, it makes him very angry, and one particular day he did snap. A customer came to the store. He was very irate, very angry. And Carl looked at the person like, what is wrong? The customer just could not make any sense and sensibility of the situation and started harassing and arguing with Carl. Now, Carl did not like taking any type of abuse from a human, of course, thinking he is above all this and they're beneath them. So Carl came from behind the counter and looked the person in the face and says, "Do you have a problem?" The customer looked like he was going to attack. So Carl, being an expert in certain martial arts, struck first. And he liked it. He liked that he caused this human pain. He says, "I don't have to take this. My race is very superior to these inferior quadrupeds." Because he thinks of them as like dogs. They should be treated like dogs. His race soared the galaxies and had planets all over. And these mud people are just stuck on this planet, fighting amongst each other, fighting over trivial things, not trying to advance their own race. So Carl had a superior complex. And for striking a customer, he was fired for that job. He said, "I don't give a damn. I didn't like it here anyhow." So now he's on his own, trying to figure out ways to make money to live on this mud hole of a planet. So Carl got the idea. Some of these humans do illegal things and making all this illegal cash. Why not rob the people that is making all this illegal cash? What are they going to tell the police? That I got robbed for my drug money? So Carl had the plan of robbing the local drug dealers. And he was quite good at it. He wore all black and had a mask. And he knew where the people were at. At first he started light, robbing the street dealers and taking whatever pocket money they got. And the money grew and grew and grew. But he was very brutal with his actions, leaving them very, very damaged and not able to recognize any forms of what he is. And he was very vicious. Carl was very, very vicious, leaving the people bloody in his wake. But he was addicted to the money and the violence. Then he started trying to rob the higher-ups, the men that are supplying the drugs, because they had loads of money, cases of money. And also, he tried some of the drugs, like the cocaine. And since his system's a little different than humans, he adapted to the cocaine instantly, converted to pure energy. And a coke-filled, vicious, and ravenous alien took to the streets and was killing at will. At first, the police wasn't going to do anything. They say he's doing our job, getting rid of the riffraff of the streets. But he was getting too good at it. And when he got to the higher-ups started complaining because they were businessmen of the city. So police had to do something. So, in one instance, Carl beat down this one street boss and damn near decapitated the man. But the police were waiting, and they surrounded Carl, and he, in his black uniform and mask, was surrounded by very armed and very angry police. So he had no choice but to surrender. When in the police station, he was booked. He had unusual fingerprints. He wasn't registered, not in this country, and so they thought of him as an immigrant. He gave his name, Carl Sapp. He had no social security number, no way to identify him, but he was booked and processed, and he was sent to prison for the crimes of killing indiscriminately. Now in prison, he was very, very angry. Angry at himself and angry because of the way the system had treated him. And that I'm stuck here, he thought. I'm stuck here with all these crazy humans. He did not talk to anyone. He just walked around silent. Now people just talked to him. Hey, look at you, look at you. You gonna be next fish. You gonna be my fish. He paid no mind. Cause little do they know, he could take out any individual in the prison, but there was a group of men wanted to set up Carl. The one thing about Carl, he had a ravenous appetite for food. He'll eat and eat and eat, and it seems he just store it for some apparent reason. He never went to the bathroom on the usual. So a lot of people looked at him and says, what's wrong with him? They don't know, but they're going to try him. So a group of 5 men cornered Carl. And they was wondering, all right, what you about, man? Carl looked at them and says, you fools, I am very important to this planet. You better leave me alone before things will happen to you. And they thought he was crazy. So they grabbed him. All 5 men grabbed him. And they took him to a section where the guards weren't posted. And they stripped him down and tied him doggy style. And he's struggling, but they had a good grip on him. And the leader of this so-called gang was behind him with his pants down. He said, "Human, you better not do this. You better not do this. You're making a big, big mistake." Huh. No, you make a mistake of acting like your shit don't stink. We're gonna find out. And so, the huge man came behind Carl and tried to penetrate him. Then all of a sudden, Carl's eyes became red. As the man inserted himself inside Carl, a rumbling came from him, and all of a sudden, a huge eruption spray of fecal matter came out of him and covered the big man. But this was no ordinary fecal matter. This had a corrosive effect on the big man, burning his skin all over his body. He showered the man in fecal matter, and it burned. It burned severely. Everybody backed off and was like, "Oh my God!" And then the big man just crumpled and keeled over and died. Everybody looked astonished and scared as Carl stood up, put back on his clothes, and says, "And next time anyone tries that again, you'll get more of the same. I will burn you in your cells. I will destroy you. Next time you try to rape me, I will destroy you. I will destroy you." So Carl was never been bothered ever again, because the rumors came out that this man is packing acid within his body that will burn you to a crisp. And they have the body to prove what he is capable of doing. Carl was in jail for that incident for a longer period of time. But he began to rule the humans because everyone was scared of him. Everyone was scared of what he's capable of doing. Because if it comes out of his butthole, what will come out of his mouth? No one wants to know, and no one wanted to find out. The end.